OMIS 351, Unit 7, Internet Search, Internet Advertising, and Google. Going to your textbook first, this has been considered the best business idea in history. What is the best business idea in history? Pairing internet surfers with advertisements that are interesting to them. So if you search for something on Google, ads will appear on the page. Let me go over here to Google and search on cordless drill. This is actually live. Up here across the top, these are what's called sponsored ads. They paid to be at the top of this page. Oftentimes they will appear at the right also. I've got my browser condensed here to fit in the screen. These are called organic or natural ads. They appear by virtue of the relevance and their quality score and other things like this, which we will discuss. So I am searching for cordless drill. It makes sense for Home Depot here, Lowe's, another Home Depot, Harbor Freight Tools. They're all trying to get me. They know what I'm interested in. So simple idea, but a brilliant idea. Matchmaking. Surfers to ads. And if you think about it, Google has been described as the world's strongest brand. Their name is a verb. If one of your friends doesn't know something or you don't know something, you will say to them or someone will say to you, Google it. So that's a verb. Somebody just says Google it. So that's a very strong brand for the company. So why is this unit important? Because obtaining and managing information and profiting from it represents a huge chunk of the current and future economy. There are billions of dollars being made on internet advertising. Back to the textbook. Tells us that Google, 86% of their $137 billion in 2018 revenue, the most recent statistics, came from advertising. 86% of 137 billion is about $118 billion. That's a lot of money. So over to the slides. What's going on? Search. The internet contains so much information. We've talked about it in our data unit. Almost too much information. So it only becomes valuable if you can search effectively to find what you want. And Google is the way everyone knows how to search. They're still king. Obviously, Microsoft and others want to cut into this market share. But Google is still king, and internet ad spending is on the rise. There's that statistic again. Look at internet over here. This moves through 2020. Internet advertising is exploding. So it's happening. So Google is the mechanism, the main one right now, the market leader, for us to search the internet, and they run ads on the top and the side. And when you click on one of those ads, the companies who are posting those ads pay Google. Of that $118 billion, about 2/3 of that comes from ads on their own pages, like google.com. They also run ads on other people's pages through an ad network called AdSense. You can even put ads on your web page. And if you get enough traffic, Google will split the profits with you. They go about 70-30 on balance, 70% to the website owner, and they take 30%. And another rule of thumb is clicks are between 30 cents and $1 per click. What do I mean by that? Well, I searched for cordless drill here. Let's click on Harbor Freight. Poor Harbor Freight. They probably have less money than these other companies. I just clicked on that. Again, this is live. I'm really connected. I go to Harbor Freight. We don't know. I'm going to block the location. We don't know the exact numbers. These numbers move, and Google is deliberately vague, but they average the cost per click. CPC averages about between 30 cents and $1 in general. There are exceptions to that. So they paid something. By me clicking on this live, Harbor Freight paid something to Google. And that adds up, as it says here, pennies at a time, adds up to $118 billion. So this is a very large sector of our economy. You, as the business manager of tomorrow, have to know how to deal with it. So how does Google work? First of all, Google, the search engine, is making it appear that it looks at every website in the world to find the information you searched for. So again, when I type cordless drill into Google and hit enter, it's looking all over the internet for anything about cordless drill. But you're actually using an index of the web and not the web itself. So, what does that mean? Google has things called spiders, bots, crawlers. Those are all the same things, roaming the World Wide Web all the time and finding things. Hey, here's something about cordless drill, or this page is about this, or whatever it is, and they store it in a gigantic database. So it's not live at the moment, because if you actually searched every web server when you did a Google search, it would take too long. So Google is doing that in the background through these automated spiders, bots, crawlers that are finding web pages and putting into database what the web page is about. And then when we run the search, it happens very quickly. You saw that my search happened very quickly, and I find information in that case on cordless drills. So the database, so it's a batch updated database, but they're doing it all the time. They're updating it all the time. How about the ads? Natural is without paying, sponsored is with paying. Natural is also called organic. So if we go back to cordless drill, this is natural. It doesn't say ad next to it. See, these things say ad. These are sponsored. This is natural. This is natural. The field of search engine optimization, SEO, is all about getting your results to come up to the top naturally. It's obviously better if you get to the top of a page without paying. And by the way, who, when doing a Google search, goes down here very often and goes to these later pages? Not very many people that I know. So you want to be at the top, you want to be near the top to get the browser's attention. We can track everything. The company can track everything. If you take out a Super Bowl ad, you don't know who saw your ad and it got them to buy something. Online, you know exactly who clicked on your ad. You know what web page they went to when they clicked. You know how long they stayed at that web page when they clicked. So very powerful trackability option, and it's part of why online ad revenue is exploding. So this is what we said before. You're not actually searching the live web, you're searching a copy, which is in a database. Software robots, spiders, crawlers, those are the same thing, and they keep this giant index for us ready to go. We've talked about DNS before. That's just internet sites, chuckdowning.com, niu.edu, whatever it may be. So a name instead of just the IP address. What's it take to run this thing? Google doesn't tell us exactly, like they don't tell us a lot of things, but it's millions of servers. And these servers are basically Best Buy PCs. You could buy them, I could buy them, and they tie them together, tether them very effectively to store all this stuff so we can search it. And by the way, there are millions of servers. This number is growing all the time. There are millions of servers allow us to have a Gmail account or a Google site, like in this class, a website, or Google Drive or Google Docs. And there's a question in the participation quiz: why is Google giving me Gmail and Google Drive and a Google site? Why do they give this all to me for free? It's so they have more places to place more ads, because they're making $118 billion plus per year on people clicking on ads. So it's well worth it for them to give us these things for free. You click here. If you download the slides, you click here, you can actually see a video showing one of the container data centers of these millions of computers tied together. This is a lot of money. 3 trends driving this explosion in online methods, online ads. We're all spending more time online. We can track it and measure it, and we can target. So they know that you like cordless drills, or you spend time doing this or that through cookies, which are little files stored on your computer. They know what you're interested in. If you're like me, you might go and search on a vacation to Idaho, and the next thing you know, on Facebook and on Google and everywhere, there's new ads that say, take a trip to Idaho. So they know what we're doing. It's a little frightening, but it doesn't bother me that much. If they give me better offers, I'm all for it. But it all amounts to a massive increase in online ad spending. Search engine marketing is the practice of getting your website found. If you're a business and people are Googling, let's say you sell cordless drills, and people Google cordless drill and you don't appear, that's bad. And so you might hire a search engine marketing firm to help your company be closer to the top or to the top of a Google search. You can imagine how important that is for a modern day business. And again, we said 2/3 comes from their own sites and 1/3 comes from partners. So how does it all kind of work? Keyword advertising. We start out with a bid. People buy specific words. Fascinating, right? So these folks over here, somebody they paid money in an auction format for the words cordless or drill or both. How do these auctions work? They bid, and the highest bidder gets it. So they bid on what they're willing to pay per click. If somebody clicks here, how much are you, the company, willing to pay to Google for that click? There's other ways: cost per impression, cost per action. These exist, but this cost per click, or also called pay per click, PPC, those are easily the two most powerful, and they're the same. That's easily the most used method. These are the same. And this becomes a win-win-win. If no one clicks on one of these ads, Google doesn't make money, the advertisers aren't reaching their customers, and if I'm searching for cordless drills, I'm not seeing what I need to see. So it becomes everybody wins. And then Google has a very precise formula. You get something called a quality score. It's a function of the quality score and the maximum you're willing to pay for the click. The quality score, again, Google does not tell us exactly how it works, but it's based on relevance. It's based on time the user spends on the landing page, meaning if a user clicks on an ad like I did here, I clicked on this Harbor Freight ad and I hit the back button almost immediately. So Google is actually doing an automated evaluation of that. This person clicked on this and left the page very quickly. This must not be that good of an ad. He didn't like it. He left it very fast. So in that case, their quality score would go down because I left the page so quickly. So it's a metric where they're looking at what happened with the user, how long was the user there, were the contents of the landing page. The landing page is where you go to when you click on a link. Were the contents relevant to the search, in this case cordless drill, and then you get an ad rank. If you have a very high quality score, you could actually pay less than your competitors for per click. But in general, the highest click shows up at the top of the page. So another factor is click-through rate. So if this is displayed 100 times when someone searches for cordless drill, if 15 people click on it, then it has a click-through rate of 15%. That's the click-through rate. So here's all the other things that I mentioned: automated assessment at the landing page, etc. Now, this is really cool. Google discounts ads to 1 cent more than the minimum necessary. What does this mean? To get up here, these people had a quality score, which we don't know exactly what that is, but then they also offered money in an auction format to be at the top. And let's say Home Depot said, we'll pay 50 cents. And let's say all of these people said, we'll pay 50 cents if someone clicks on this. We'll pay you, Google, 50 cents. And then Harbor Freight came in and said, we'll pay $3 because they really wanted to be at the top. The genius part of Google's method here is they say, you bid $3? Because the next highest bid was 50 cents, we will only charge you 51 cents, even though you bid $3. And I'll tell you what, business professionals of tomorrow, if you ever want to have satisfied customers, make sure you're operating on a win-win basis with your customers. So Google does this here to avoid buyer's remorse. The worst thing is to find out you could have paid 51 cents per click when you're paying $3 per click. And you might think, well, why would Google do that to make less money? This actually encourages higher bids because people are not afraid, companies are not afraid of having that buyer's remorse. And so this is happening every time in real time, and it's a moving target, and it can be monitored and tracked. Very powerful, translates to something like $118 billion per year.